to our series 19 Hospitality Questions on COVID-19. And in this instance, Ashraaq, the roles are reversed. I am going to throw you a question.
Okay.
And perhaps get some feedback from you, which may be interesting because, these words, sanitizing, cleaning, disinfecting, is been constantly used in this bubble of safety. And I feel that they have been used arbitrarily, which can be confusing. So, can you perhaps give us a clear understanding, make us understand clearly what each of these actions really mean? Over to you.
Sure. That can be done. Okay, so cleaning, sanitizing, and disinfecting. These are buzzwords that have come in the COVID-19 era. They've been around before. If you recall, you go to a hotel, when you go to the toilet, you see that tape around the toilet, sanitized for your safety. But what does that mean? We know it's fine. They say sanitized. What is it? Is it cleaned? Is it sanitized? Is it disinfected? Because these three words have three distinct meanings. So we went through a lot of definitions from the medical side as well as the industry side to bring you the difference between these two words. So let's start with cleaning. Cleaning basically comes from the verb cleanse, which is free from dust and pollution, which means you're removing marks, stains, dirt, dust, whatever you can see with your naked eye. Now, some cleaning products, they actually might remove what are called microorganisms, which cover bacteria, viruses, and all those things that we cannot see with our naked eye. But remember this, typically, cleaning transfers the unwanted material from the surface being cleaned onto your cleaning utensil or tool. So, it does not kill or reduce these microorganisms from the surface. You might either remove them from the surface onto your cleaning object, or you might be spreading them across the surface as well. And of course, much like you spill some paint and then clean it with a cloth, you now have paint on the cloth. Same principle. You now have these microorganisms as well as the dirt on the cloth. The dirt you can see on the cloth. That's why you go and you wring the cloth or do whatever in water. But the microorganisms, how do you know for sure that you have cleaned the cloth or your cleaning tool or utensil effectively? That is where you need to ensure that you sanitize or disinfect or both your cleaning utensils. So let's get into sanitizing now. Sanitizing means you're removing the visible plus reducing the effect of the invisible. Now, most sanitizing chemicals and things claim that they can remove 99.9% of bacteria. Notice the word bacteria there. They might not remove viruses, that means. Some can. There are those that can remove viruses, but most of them may not be effective against viruses. Just to give you an example, I have an old Dettol can at home, which is maybe from 2015, and typically Dettol, they say, removes all bacteria, harmful bacteria and all. But if you turn over the back of the Dettol can, there is a wording there saying, removes coronavirus. This was in 2015. Of course, coronaviruses are a family of viruses. So this COVID-19 is not the only coronavirus around. So that means you need to check your cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting products to see what they are actually removing. I'll come back to that towards the end of this video. The reason for that is viruses are harder to kill than bacteria using certain chemicals. Remember, when you go to the doctor, you have a flu. Doctor says, viral flu. Giving you an antibiotic is useless. You go home, you control the symptoms and take plenty of rest and eat well. Why is that? Because viruses are harder to kill. They need different techniques to kill. Now, this is where disinfecting comes in. Now, disinfecting uses chemicals plus other means such as UV light to kill and eliminate bacteria and viruses. So, you're killing them and you're eliminating the particles from the surface as well. That is the most surefire way to ensure a surface is as safe as possible. We cannot say COVID free because let me give you a very easy example of that. Say your housekeeper who's cleaning a room is asymptomatic but has COVID, shows no symptoms at all. Nobody in the workplace knows that the person has COVID. Even the person doesn't know because he or she doesn't feel sick. He cleans this table. Then while he's cleaning the table, he has cleaned and sanitized and disinfected it, but he accidentally coughs or sneezes or exhales some air out. He has transferred the virus onto the surface he or she just cleaned without knowing it. So that danger is there, and that is the onus is on hotels to regularly screen their staff, because especially if they are involved in the cleaning, sanitizing and disinfecting of the property, they need to be tested. Because in one of our past videos you would recall, there's about 20% of people who would not show any symptoms at all of the virus. That's 1 in 5 potential people who may get the virus. So that is a serious thing you need to take into account. Now I'm going to touch on something which you may be thinking in your head. What about hand sanitizers? They have the word sanitize in it. How do they work? Well, without going too technical, the coronavirus and viruses have a fatty layer around the virus cell which can be destroyed by soap and sanitizers and destroying the virus genome, therefore making it ineffective, and then it gets washed away with the water. But the key here is you need time for that to work. Do you know why we say wash your hands with the soap for 30 seconds in between the fingers, between the thumb, underneath the palm, all that? Because you need to give that time to act. 30 seconds of scrubbing. Now, can we clean all surfaces like that? Can you clean a television screen and television set, for example, or the phone in the room or any other electronic device for 30 seconds with water and soap? Either you'll get shocked and die, or you'll break the device. Sanitizing and disinfecting, more particularly disinfecting chemicals in spray form, are more effective because you can spray that chemical on. It is designed to immediately kill and remove the microorganisms, and you can wipe it off, and in most cases whatever remains evaporates away. So that is the most effective way because you are optimizing. Imagine if you had to scrub every surface in a room for 30 seconds minimum, how long it would take to clean and sanitize and disinfect that room. Whereas if you use the correct chemicals, you can do it much quicker. And then there are certain hotels, like I think the Hilton in some country, somewhere in the US, the Westin, they've started using these UV robots, which are totally automated. The housekeeping person just sends it into the room where it wheels itself in and blasts the entire room with UV light. Now that room must not have any person in it because UV light can cause skin cancer in high concentrations. So what they do is, the housekeeping person sanitizes and disinfects the room as normal, sends the robot in which stays in the room for several minutes blasting this UV light while the person starts working on the next room. So then you're optimizing your manpower as well as your efficiency and the time usage if you use something like that. Finally, one final thing is, always make sure whatever chemicals you give your staff to use are safe and fit for purpose. You need to check and verify the certifications of these products. You need to make sure that they do what they say they claim they do. Do they address viruses as well, or are they just disinfectants that don't remove viruses? And most importantly, your staff will be using these chemicals in high concentrations for a long time. So ensure that it is safe for them to use. Issue them with the relevant PPE such as gloves and things, which also must be kept sanitized and disinfected frequently if they are going to be in contact with this. Because you don't want them to start getting ill effects on the skin or respiratory system from being exposed to these chemicals in hotel rooms, which nowadays are typically closed, sealed and air conditioned. So that is basically what I have to say on this topic.
So I think that perhaps sums up and gives you a very broad idea of the terms sanitizing, cleaning, disinfecting.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway from this is the keywords: fit for purpose and safe to use.
Yes.
And if you understand that, and your staff, particularly those of you in hotels and restaurants, do understand it clearly, then I think they will know which one, the art and science of using which one to serve a purpose can be the most effective way of approaching this safety first environment. Thank you, Ashraaq. To those of you out there, I hope it has been enlightening. If you do have any other question, do reach us. You could email to us or reach us at hospitalitysrilanka.com or on any of the social media links that will be shown immediately after this clip. Thank you.
Thank you.